speaking of which, let's go into boxing, man. Did you watch the fight last night?
Absolutely.
What'd you think about your boy?
Fantastic fight, man. You know, I love Canelo and I love Bud Crawford. I really do. I mean, to me, those two are the last, in my opinion, the last 10, 12 years, the best boxers in boxing by far. I like the fact that Canelo knew that he has problems with fighters who really slip and are crafty and who are boxers, because he's not he's a guy who, he cuts off the ring better than anybody I've ever seen in my life. I mean, he is a master. And he is a lot more powerful than we realize. At the same time, his body, he was in fantastic shape. Usually when people fight somebody smaller or somebody they can just bully around, they come in out of shape. He came in the best shape of his life. But Terrence Crawford is just a different being. You know, he's been slighted. He's always, they tried to, maybe 5 to 8 years ago, they tried to pull him away from Omaha and his trainers. Come to LA, we got this for you set up. And he's like, no. And so he really got blackballed in boxing, but he was so good they couldn't blackball him. And then he was at a point where no one would fight him. It just didn't make sense. And so the only person out there was Canelo, and people just thought, you know, Terrence Crawford is really a strong guy. His background, he's a wrestler. And you got to be careful when boxers and wrestlers. They got some different type of strength. You know,
the angle, that core strength.
Absolutely. They know how to get low and use their legs well and leverage their, I mean, he is that dude. At the same time, growing up, when you whoop everybody on the block, and then you go to the next block and whoop everybody, like it was, you know, I've been a fan of him for years. You know, his mom used to try and find guys to beat him up just to put him in place. And he would say, "Mama, he's not gonna whoop me." Like that's the type of how he grew up. And so, you know, fighting is something he's done all his life. Then when you get the training and the technique and possess a skill set that he has, he has just zero fear. Just a different dude, man.
And he said, and I didn't even know that they were saying in the background that he was shot. He got shot in the head.
He did,
and drove himself to the hospital.
He did.
One thing he did say afterwards is that he trained to fight. He was training against bigger opponents.
He was
so he could get used to that and sparring. So when he fought Canelo, you know, it didn't phase him. Now, it was weird because when you're watching the fight, there were times where, I mean, when you look at the tape, Crawford was an inch taller, and he had a 5-inch reach, right? But there were times in that fight where Canelo looked taller, and he looked like he had the longer reach. And Canelo was he was more broader, wider, right?
His back and his shoulders.
So it was weird because I think around that 6th or 7th round, I think it seemed like Canelo kind of had this. To me, it looked like he was starting to be like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to beat this guy."
He was. You saw it on his face. However, he's a warrior.
He's gonna fight. He's gonna still
fight.
He's gonna try to figure it out.
To me, and you hit it right on the head. When you look at him, he says, "Hey, look, I don't have anything in my arsenal to really affect this guy how I want to affect him. So I'm gonna have to take some shots. And hope I can land some shots." And you know, and again, Bud Crawford is, I mean, he did move around. He was smart, but then he realized, like, wait a minute, no, I'm gonna stand right here. What is so fascinating to me with both of them is that they're this close. You swing and they can move out of the way. I mean, Bud Crawford missed him so many times, and Canelo missed him so many times as well. I mean, that was they have cat-like reflexes.
And the exchanges were what fascinating. Were Canelo would get a shot in, a good solid shot.
Right.
And then Crawford would hit him 2 or 3 times in that same exchange.
Yeah.
Crawford got him once. I don't know if it was 9th or the 10th round, maybe the 11th, where he really stuck him. And Canelo turned. And I used to wonder, but I had somebody tell me when you're absorbing the punch, if you try to take the punch, it causes more damage. You got to move with the punch. So when he got hit, Canelo went like this.
He did, yeah.
And then he turned around with his face like, yeah,
you see his face?
Yeah. It was like, yeah, bro, it's not gonna work tonight. So, what the craziest thing, and I think it's a cultural thing, because I look on my feed and everything, and and I look just because I'm like just trying to see what people are saying. This is one of those rare fights where I think 95% of the population said, yeah, he won, right? There was still some that was like, oh, well, he kept running. Like, you can't fight. So then I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe you weren't watching the fight. It was more tactical. Some people think that if you're going to box, you got to stand in the ring and just slug it out, right? But my thing is, Canelo took this fight knowing that Crawford was more of a counter puncher.
Absolutely.
Counter punches don't always stand in. They're more tactful. Yep. They want to move you around. Then on top of that, Canelo's going to try to corner you and get you in the ropes. If that's not your strength, why am I going to stand there and do that?
Anybody crazy enough to stand against the ropes against Canelo, you're not going to last very long.
Right. Now, if you're masterful, if that's your fight, like Muhammad Ali would do that.
Correct.
Right? If that's your fight, then fine. But if that's not your fight, it's like if I'm playing Shaquille O'Neal, why am I going to say, well, we're going to play in the paint?
That makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
That's a great analogy. That makes no sense.
So, yeah, congrats to Crawford. Now, I know they were saying that he might retire. He needs to get that one fight, because when you look at what Canelo got, I think it was 150 million?
60.
160? Mm-hmm. And Terrence got, what, 15 or 10? 10. It's time for Terrence to get one of them, to get one of those purses.
Yeah, he needs to get one.
He needs to get one of those, then he can retire.
Right.
So, it was a good fight. And how did you like the fact that it was on Netflix and you'd have to do pay-per-view?
You know what? I love that. I really did. I thought Netflix really won.
Yeah.
I thought they won. And the thing is, I know Netflix had some issues with the
football game with the buffering and stuff.
Yeah.
And
I had no problem.
Yeah, I didn't have any problems at all.
They fixed that immediately.
Now, look, okay, I did have one problem.
Okay.
Their feed, I don't know why, but their feed was behind.
Oh, really?
Because I got an alert during, I think, the beginning of the 10th round, and I looked at the alert and I put my phone down because I didn't want to see what I see. The fight was already over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, typically, don't they do that in case something happens and they can kind of...
I mean, you have a delay, but you're talking 2 to 3 rounds. So you're talking anywhere between 5 and maybe 15 minutes of a delay. Now, I don't know, because my youngest was watching it on the computer, and when he came in, he said, "Oh, I'm 2 rounds ahead of y'all."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, "Oh, we don't need that.
Get out of here."
Yeah, don't say nothing.
Yeah.
Don't be spoiling it. But
Great. I thought it was promoted very well.
Yeah.
I thought they didn't try to oversell it because they didn't have to. Two big names. And I thought it never got personal.
No.
As far as the talking, it was two professionals.
Right.
I like the fact that Crawford is seasoned now.
Right.
You can tell just by where he was speaking, his respect for Canelo.
Gave him his belts back.
Yeah. That's crazy.
When he said, the greatest thing is that he's going to be able to go home to his wife and kids. I'm going to be able to go home.
Yes.
Now, I will tell you, I guess the one of the problems I've had with boxing over the years, which is why I haven't watched it as much and followed it like I used to, was, number one, there's a whole bunch of personal attacks and talking leading up, and they get in front and they're like really trying to go at it. And then after the fight, they're smiling and hugging. And I started to understand, oh, that's the entertainment and sell.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, no, don't sell me that. You can tell me that you're gonna whoop his ass, without making it seem like. Because to me, the way I'm looking at it, if we fight and we going at it the way some of these fighters go, man, at the end of the fight, I'm still trying to fight you.
Yeah,
you know,
there's been some things said lately toward boxers that's been way below the belt, and so I'm not giving you a hug after.
Yeah, you can't be doing that.
It's not happening.
The second thing is, and I'm not going to even cross this over into life, but I've seen boxing matches where with my eyes, it's obvious that this guy won.
Oh yeah.
But then when they get to the scorecard and everything, the announcement, they either call it a draw or they give it to the other guy on a split decision. I remember, I cannot remember who it was that was actually fighting, but the announcers, the ring announcers, the guy who had their card, everybody had it for this person.
No doubt.
And then they turned around and said this person was won, and it was always, you know, the dark side of boxing with how you were trying to maneuver and duck and stuff. And that just, it got to where it's like, well, man, look, I'm not biased. Even if I'm pulling for this guy, if I see that this guy beats the guy that I'm pulling for, I'm not gonna make no excuses.
No,
I'm gonna say, you know what? He won. He was a better fighter, and it's happened before.
It's happened a lot.
Yeah, it's happened a lot. So it started to be a turnoff. Now, UFC is the thing. I can't watch UFC. I'm not a UFC fan.
It depends. I'm not either. I don't know all the people. It depends on who it is.
Hey.
But what I like is the gentleman from UFC. I can't.
UFC. Dana White.
Dana White is coming into boxing. And so this was, to me, like,
it's big.
The first kind of I would say trailer. To get you to understand what this is going to be like from here on out.
It should, now, he's taking a page out of UFC. It should be like what it is where, no, we're not going to do all this ducking, dog.
Right.
You fighting him, right?
That's what we're doing.
You know, that's what we're doing. The only thing I don't like about UFC is, you know, the striking, the kicking, and then they're grabbing, and then for the next 3 or 4 minutes, they're laying on the ground tussling. That's the only thing. And I know it's a skill, it's part of it. I get that, but I don't want to see guys rolling around like that, you know. But my wife and the youngest, they are UFC fanatics.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
They tell me stuff about UFC, and I'd be like, "You like, baby, you gotta see it." And I'd be like, "How long were they on the ground?" Well, it's because they was. I said, "Yeah, see." Yeah. Well, it's because you know where I'm going. If you grapple on the ground for 10, 15, 20 seconds, I can live with that. But I once watched a UFC fight where at the beginning of the ring, it was, swing, one of them tried to kick, and then it was grab, and the whole 3 to 4 minutes, rest of that, they were on the ground.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say this, though. UFC, I will watch the women. Because they throw some haymakers out there. I will watch them. I am a fan of the women's side of it, but the men's side.
Now, Anderson Silva back in the day.
Oh boy!
Yeah, I saw Anderson Silva once. He kicked, and it looked like his foot went like this, wrapped around the dude, and came around this way and hit him like a snake. I was like, oh! What just happened?
Hey,
so yeah,
he was tough.